this is the piece that we're going to focus on. So this crazy, weird, freaking 6-speed, but also drive like regular automatic transmission. So how this thing works, I love how this article is written. So celebrating his 50th birthday, Christian von Koenigsegg dispensed with the traditional champagne and midlife crisis 911, and instead he revealed a totally new form of gearbox technology. Okay? So how this thing works, I'm going to explain it in like dumb terms, and then we'll dive in and talk about it a little bit. But basically, like wrap your minds around this.
Please.
I'm going to stop sharing for a sec too, because I'm just going to paste the thing in, but I want you guys to be able to react at normal speed. Okay, so this thing, so it's a 6-speed, but it can shift into drive. So how they do it is it actually has 9 gears, and when you shift into drive, they're all hydraulically actuated, and it has a clutch pedal. When it's in drive, it's just doing it itself. But it's a 6-speed that also has 3 different drive modes that change the gear ratios for the 6-speed.
Whoa. Oh, so it's like a bike where you got 1, 2, 3, and then you got 1 through 7 or whatever.
Yes. Welcome back to Third Pedal Podcast, everybody. I'm Jacob.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Tyler.
And I'm going to edit that
Welcome
so there's
back to
no
the show.
lag. Welcome to another virtual show.
Welcome back, everybody. So good to be back. We've got a lot of fun stuff to talk about tonight. I can see you guys. I can hear you guys chuckling behind the cameras, even though I can't see you because we have low data mode on, so that we're talking on time. But super excited to be back. I want to first off thank everybody who's been engaging with us, messaging us, commenting on stuff, liking stuff. It's super, super encouraging to see those notifications pop up, see you guys enjoying the content, engaging with the content. It's really, really fun. I know it makes us all smile, and we all text about it right away like we're little kids.
This is
Speaking
true.
of, getting some messages on... It's true. Getting some messages on Instagram, just seeing what you guys are building, what you guys are working on. It's just super exciting. So I was going through early this week and looking through a few of those awesome stuff, and then go back to the feed. Of course, you get sucked in. But good thing about that is I saw this insane new supercar by KTM. Have you guys ever heard of KTM?
They're like the motorcycle company, right?
Me either until I saw this. I think they do some motorcycle stuff too, but just wait. Let me initial reactions in 3, 2, 1. Can you guys see my screen share?
Ooh,
there we go.
I can see it.
Okay.
Wow.
It took a second.
I was like,
to
they hate
load.
it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's
It
so
looks
funny.
like-
There's no lag here.
It looks
Is
like
that
somebody who
wild
saw
looking?
a Koenigsegg and then decided to draw it from memory. That's interesting.
Yes. So you can see a few different angles of this thing.
Whoa, it has a cockpit.
So really,
Ooh, super approve of the cockpit.
Yes. So
Whoa.
super, super cool. So yeah, they do I don't see any motorcycles. They have a interesting variety of different rear engine supercar type of things, and then some.
Wait, what?
I don't know what these are considered. Go-karty type stuff.
Where are these like dozen cars that they randomly make all of a sudden?
Yeah,
I know,
how
right?
have I
That's
not
what I'm
seen
saying.
any
Like,
of these?
I don't know what it is about the algorithm or the internet or just the car world that we're in, because it seems like, I don't know about what you guys are feeling and you guys listening are feeling, but it kind of seems a little bit like there's this gray cloud over the car community, and like everything's going electric, and it's kind of depressing. And like, there's not, it just doesn't seem like there's, I guess this is like it's like totally two-sided, because at the same time that it seems like everything is trending towards just being fuel efficient, like just being economical, electric, hybrid, blah, blah, blah. On this same other side of it is the coolest and fastest cars we've ever seen are being created. Like at the same time that Chevy brings back their Lightning model of the truck and it's electric now instead of like a cool fast truck, they're also coming up with like a legit supercar version of the Corvette rear engine for the first. Like it's like a mix of both. It's very confusing.
I didn't know that.
And then there's these companies like this. Obviously, this isn't a new company, KTM. I'm assuming they've been around for a while. You can't just come right out the gates with something sick like this.
Really, really
especially
quick.
all these models.
I looked it up. So they are an Australian motorcycle company. So they do like those enduro, like off-road bikes. They've been around since 1934, but they are clearly pretty new to the vehicle game. They're just adding wheels and horsepower, apparently.
Yeah, a lot of it.
Really cool car that they have here with the X-Bow. So I just love a lot of the design stuff that we're going through. I don't have tons and tons of specs on this. I just saw the initial picture, looked it up real quick.
Yeah, visuals are doing it, man.
C8. I know. Kind of looks C8 Corvette-esque, but everything kind of does now. This looks like McLaren, Corvette, some Ferrari as far as like these rear vent areas, McLaren as far as the tail. Like,
everything just looks like a video game car now.
Design car.
Yeah,
well,
true.
Speaking of.
Dude, I'm going to go so into that.
Speaking of.
And then, yeah, what is that called? A foreshadow? Foreshadowing to what Tyler's going to talk about.
Yeah.
So interior sick, reminds me of like McLaren P1-esque type of stuff, right? With like full carbon, very driver centric. I mean, look at this top corner where you see the what's that suspension called when it comes in this way, like an Indy car?
The cantilever suspension.
It's like, yeah. So you can see that in here. You see the little shocks for the cockpit, and then I almost spoiled it. Are you ready for this? I did spoil it because I scrolled onto it. This is what it's powered by: an Audi 2.5 liter 5-cylinder turbo.
You got to be so proud right now.
As if it couldn't get cooler, right? Than what it already looks like. Is that so sick? So they partner with Audi to, use their drivetrain 2.5 liter 5-cylinder. So for you guys that aren't as geeks as we are, so this 2.5 5-cylinder, this is the TTRS. This is the Audi RS3. If you've ever heard of Hank Iraz and the craziness that he's doing with these 2.5 liter 5-cylinders, like insane. So you're basically getting that 2.5 liter 5-cylinder. You're getting this crazy power plant from a spicy Jetta in an actual super lightweight, all carbon fiber hypercar frame. Like, just imagine how fast this thing's going to go and how crazy it is once it's all tuned up.
And the sound
just
it's
insane.
going to make. Dude, I don't have my video on
so
for you guys,
see
but
this,
I stood up and
then
left
you
my
hear
desk. Oh my gosh.
I thought I heard something. It's just awesome. So yeah, just I love seeing this stuff, especially like this used to be so much more common, and I guess it still is, about different brands sharing engines and transmissions and whatever, all that type of stuff. But it's just really cool to see, especially from like newer innovation in these types of cars. So had to share that.
Wow.
Awesome. Love seeing it. Here you can see let me zoom in on this. You can see it tucked in the back there.
Dude.
That's
the fact
so
that they
pretty.
went with an Audi
so
5-cylinder, I would have thought that
And
they
the
would throw
intake.
some like motorcycle thing in it and then gear it up like crazy and make it just this light little go-kart. But the fact that they put like a 5-cylinder monster in it, that's so freaking cool.
Yeah. Look at this. It's all tube framed and then carbon fiber. Like,
wow.
That's
gotta be
too pretty.
What does it say here as far as, I thought it would have a weight right off the bat, but I guess they don't have like all the specs, which, okay. So anyways, this is the first thing I see, I'm looking at Instagram. I see this thing. I'm like, that's crazy.
Can we try to pre-order one real quick? What's the price on one of those?
Oh, good call. Okay. I'll try not to spoil the next thing too.
While we're here,
let's just pre-order Expo. No big deal. Oh, here we go. Go away, whatever you are.
I see dollar signs.
How do I get out of this?
It's probably not going to let you. I see 284
Check it again.
pounds.
Yeah, that's
just
euros.
Sign in with the Google for the podcast. Well, whatever. We can just abandon this. We can find it out later if we need to, if it's going to take too long. Yep.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
but anyway, so 285 euros. That's I don't know what the exchange rate is completely. It's probably roughly $290,000-$300,000. So.
Oh, that had a K at the end of it? I thought that was just the reservation fee of the thing, like $300.
No, that has 3 extra digits.
Farts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bummer. That makes sense,
to be totally honest, that's lower than I thought it would be. But I also don't know how expensive cars like this should be. But I guess I was expecting, after seeing the Pagani for £2 million, I kind of figured that thing would be up there closer to like $1 million.
When I saw it, I thought it was gonna be like a play at a slingshot, like the Polaris things that are like kind of a motorcycle car thing. I thought it was gonna be like in that territory.
Yeah.
And then you showed me the motor, and I was like, this is completely different. And then the carbon tub for that thing has to cost like $50,000 to $100,000.
Yeah,
easily.
It's not a cheap piece. So that makes sense. That it's around there. I thought you were looking at a reservation fee of like $300, and then I was like, is this gonna be like a $70,000 car? But I don't think we're not there.
Yeah, no way.
I gotcha.
No.
So anyway, Sorry, I didn't mean to derail that on the price. I just got really excited because it had a 5-cylinder in it.
Yeah, super sick. Like I just thought that was super cool, especially with the motorcycle stuff that they're apparently known for.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mean to say it like that. Like nobody knows who they are. I'm sure all the motorcycle people are like punching air right now. Like you've never heard of KTM. Like what are you talking about? Anyways, so that was what I saw, and then I keep scrolling, and I don't know what algorithms just tossing stuff at me. They're like, "You want to see the fastest cars in the world?" Apparently, and I'm like, "Thank you very much, Mark Zuckerberg." Yes, I do. So
nailed it.
If you guys have you heard of SSC Shelby Supercars?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Them I actually have heard of and looked into a little bit.
I have.
Okay, so I'll spoil it with the title here first because it'll be better to intro to everybody watching here. They have just officially received the award for the fastest production supercar in the world.
Ooh.
So not fastest, like there's some crazy car manufacturers strap like a jet engine or whatever to these cars, and they're like, okay, they go super, super fast. But this is like a production car, like not that you can necessarily go to your local dealer and pick one up, but I mean, it's a car that you can order from this company. It's a production vehicle. It's called the SSC. Everybody's gonna flame me for this, man. SSC Tartara. Tartar. Let me share with you guys. Okay, so also looks ridiculous.
Oh,
that load up for you guys?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Like looks like Avatar or something boiled down into a car, like spaceship stuff.
Looks like a Pagani and a McLaren made a baby.
They talk about the coefficient of drag. It does.
Yeah.
And like a little bit of bit of Ferrari up front here, you know? It's tough it's gotta be really hard for these design guys when we make comments like that and they're like, we worked for 5 years to make this unique and special and like just ours, you know?
I got something else to make it worse.
Ferrari, McLaren, it looks like everything else.
I think it looks in the back, it kind of looks like, you know, like the gamer headsets with the cat ears on it. That's like what the back looks like to me.
Oh no, dude, no.
But I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. However really you say this company name because this car's gorgeous.
Just SSC. The car's name is Tartara. Check out the animation though they got on their website, right? So you got the car here. You can click open. Oh, so sick. You can open the whole thing up. Same thing, cantilevered suspension, super lightweight. Cool. Super, super cool. So unmatched aerodynamics. I'll just write the commercial for it right now. Cool. So the leading coefficient of drag of 0.279.
Wow. That sounds super low. I don't know what that means.
It's hard to like relatively. I don't know exactly what that is, but it looks sick and it sounds like it's really low. So yeah, it's got a twin turbo V8 that goes up to 1750 horsepower. So as far as specs go, obviously that's a lot, right? As far as specs go on like crazy high horsepower cars, that's not that insane, right? We've heard of 1,000 horsepower cars, 2,000 horsepower cars even. Not that crazy. Robotized manual 7-speed. So similar to what I think Pagani's doing something like this, right? Am I wrong? They're doing a robotized, it's a manual transmission, but it's done with servos and like computers and stuff.
That's also foreshadowing something to what I'm going to be talking about a little bit later in this episode. So good job, dude.
My bad.
No, you're good.
Okay.
No, you're good.
Didn't mean to spoil anything.
Mine's different than this completely, but it is like along the same lines, and it is kind of funny that it feels like a compromise that everybody's making between like, well, automatic slush boxes weren't better, but also people are slow. So what can we do in the middle?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I gotta comment on something super quick. Mm-hmm. Are you guys noticing that they've got like the 91 octane and then the ethanol and methanol? Do you see that it's a 30% horsepower increase once you go to methanol versus octane? Mm-hmm. 91?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It's 30% way more flammable.
Yeah, that's why like that's what you can even do much, though. Like going up to like an E85 tune, for example, you typically have to do 2 different types of high pressure fuel pumps. You have to do different injectors and stuff like that to handle the different type of fuel, the corrosion and stuff like that. But yeah, you can squeeze out a ton. I flirted with the idea for my car of going E85,
That's crazy.
but supposedly it's tougher. It's like harder for cold starts and somewhat less reliable in some ways. So
it is interesting
I haven't
to
really
see a
touched
side
it.
by
Aliens
side
from
like that.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this is normally something you'd see on like a tuning website, right? If they're like, okay, if
Right.
you want to use 91 pump, if you want to use 93 pump, if you can find 95 pump, otherwise you could do these VP race fuels and stuff like that. And there's another manufacturer I'm going to get to as well. Actually, same manufacturer, I think. Nope, sorry, different thing. That they mentioned something like this too, which I thought was super interesting. So obviously it's got to be super safe. So they got this crazy shell built around the entire thing because this is the fastest production car in the world. And then some dynamic handling, some different adjustments and things like that. That's super cool. So all the specifications, if you guys just go to sscnorthamerica.com, you can look up all the specs. I'm not here to like explain everything that's going on with it because we could get super in depth. And again, with the coefficient of drag that I said, and then was like, we were all like, yeah, well, that sounds like a low number. And we moved on because we don't really know. You can look up all that stuff on the website. They have tons of information. They do amazing stuff. What I wanted to show you
real quick, you know what number I do know is look at that rear tire size. Oh, you already switched from it. It's fine. It was a 345.
No, it's all good. I'm back. Yeah. 345.
Oh my gosh.
20 inch. And they're throwing 20s on there, not because they want it to look cool. I'm sure that's part of it, but it's the weight.
They need it.
You know, the reducing that, what's it called? The
rotational mass.
Unsprung weight. Yeah, rotational mass and unsprung weight or sprung weight or something like that. And you need a wheel that big to put rubber to the ground. Like if you're going to have this much power pushing out, 1700 horsepower at 100 RPM. Yeah, you need that. And also when you're going at this highest speed too, you know, you don't want stretch coming from all this rubber. You know, you want that rubber band on there and hold it tight. I'm not a scientist, but that's what I gather. So anyways,
real quick though,
look
Tyler
at this.
called it out.
So this is against.
Sorry, keep going. Too late.
No, it's all good. So this is the Tortara, the SSC versus they do these side by side races with a Koenigsegg Agera RS. So another, if I'm not mistaken, I think the Agera RS was previously the world's fastest production car. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Hit me in the comments. But also, I'm pretty sure I said Koenigsegg wrong again. But don't care. Watch this. So let me know if this is playing for you guys. I'll kind of narrate it.
Yep.
200. I have to pause already. 200 miles an hour. These cars are starting at for a race. 200 starting. By the way, it's not like this car made it to 200 miles an hour. Okay, we're in third gear and 200 miles an hour. Are you ready to start? Yeah, I'm ready to start. We're cruising.
That's insane. Most cars at 200 are like topped out in sixth, and they're not going to do anything else. These are just getting started. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Like I remember, I don't know, this is like callback memory, walking through car shows when we were kids, right? And what was the couple or seeing a cool car in public? What was the thing you always look at when you're a kid walking through a car show? You look in the driver's side and you look at the dash, you see how high the speedo goes, right? You look at like, holy crap, this car goes 180. Oh, like regardless of what it's actually limited to or its potential mechanically, but like what says on the dash. I remember that so clearly. And I remember the first time seeing close to that. I think it must have been a Viper. You guys can remind me. I think it must have been a Viper, and Viper goes to 200. I think on the dash.
I think the new ones do.
I don't know for sure.
Maybe it was that. Maybe it was something else. I don't know. I just remember that seeing 200. So, anyways, 200 miles an hour is stupid fast. And this is where this race starts. Green flag. 200 miles an hour. So just watch this. It's video from the cockpit. They say it's from the company's public YouTube channels. You know, they're not like stealing any information. Okay, so accelerating from 200 miles an hour. One on top is just crossing 245. Just crossed 250.
Oh my gosh.
270.
It's just
that looks terrifying.
80. Like,
it doesn't stop.
So. This is, you know, there's a little bit of humble brags going on in this video.
Like
it reaches the Agera's top speed of 284.3, 17.19 seconds faster than the Agera RS. It reaches that car's top speed.
17 seconds? Holy cow.
1.25 miles ahead 1.25 miles,
Oh my
19
gosh.
football fields. That's how far it is ahead.
That's
Look at that. Now they time it here. Like, pause the video on top. All right, we hit your top speed.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh. That's pretty aggressive.
Like, this is a very good visualization of how much faster it really is.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
a great example.
Still going. And it caught up. And now it's slowing down. And the Tartura is still accelerating. And 290.
Oh my gosh.
Still accelerating at
accelerating.
295-ish
Runs out of
and
runway.
runs out of runway. So they ran out
Oh.
of space. They ran out of Earth to go fast on. That's the only thing that stopped the race.
That's a 300 mile an hour
Isn't
car.
that wild?
That's insane.
Is that insane? So I've got another one here. So Hennessey, awesome company. I think these guys are based out of Texas. They also do these crazy, like what would you call them?
They're like a modification
bespoke, I guess.
thing?
I don't know. They do a lot of modification, but they also they build their own cars too. So they have the Hennessey Venom F5. That's this one. I think this one previously also got a record for fastest production car.
Yeah, this used to be the fastest
So
production car.
another
I thought,
side-by-side
'cause it's
race.
based
Real
off
quick,
of
we'll go
Lotus.
through this one. So again, started 200 miles an hour. And this is the same Cape Canaveral runway too, which is pretty cool. Like, same spot now this time. So for anybody who wanted to say like, oh, the Tortura had like a better runway or better track or whatever, and that's why it accelerated so much faster, these are in the same runway.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see the acceleration difference, roughly
Wow.
10 miles an hour. 11 seconds faster than the Venom, 3/4 of a mile ahead. I love how everything's in football fields. Welcome to America. 14 and a half football fields. That's just funny how we measure stuff.
That is nuts. Am I the only one that feels like they turned away for 3 seconds and now cars are almost going 300 miles an hour?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So Tartura apparently 295 is its top speed. Okay, so it's not quite a 300 mile an hour car.
Well, if it had enough
Yeah.
Earth, it probably is. I bet if it hung out in 12th gear,
Okay,
it would
so
get
look
there.
at this spec. The SSC Tartura reaches its top speed of 295 miles an hour, a half a second after the Hennessey reaches its top speed of 271.6 miles an hour.
Wow.
24 mile an hour faster at the
Wow.
same time. Just
That's pretty
crazy.
sweet.
Just
That's
insane.
awesome.
Like, yeah, I feel the exact same way that like it turned our head and all of a sudden there's 300
Yeah.
mile an hour production cars. Like, what?
That's insane. Like, I
Yeah,
thought, I don't know. That's
Just
so
insane.
I'm sorry. I hate to be the bearer of bad news in this situation, but
Okay,
I now
go
remember
ahead.
why I know what the SSC Toyotara is.
Okay, go ahead.
It's not a 300 mile an hour car. The reason I know about it is because there was a huge controversy because they claimed that car hit 331 miles an hour in a
Really?
recorded video of it hitting 331 miles an hour. And then they came out and then they did another one where it hit 316 miles an hour. Both videos they came out and admitted were actually faked.
What?
And it's never
No.
broke 300. Yeah, they've done it. They ran it twice and it averaged between the two. It hit, I mean, it's still stupid fast, but between the two, it hit an average of 282 miles an hour, not 300. Yeah, they had one run where they said it hit 331, and then they had another one where it said they hit 301. And this was all over
No
like
way.
the car news during the time.
Yeah, this was
And,
back in May, right?
Yep, that's why
Yep.
when you said it, I was like, yeah, I've heard of
That's
SSC
so
before, but I
funny.
couldn't remember why. That's why. So
Yeah, look
it's
at this. They
not a
admit
300
that their
mile an hour
first
car.
run
It's
was fake.
close, but it's
That's
not.
crazy. I rescind
Yep.
it especially
I know.
since they lied about it. That probably isn't a 300 mile an hour car, and prove us wrong.
It's not.
Nope. It's proven that it's not. But I mean,
Yeah.
all right, let's not push up the glasses and go, technically, because 295
Well, that's why I'm
miles an hour
not trying to
is
do that. Yeah, that's what I'm
crazy.
saying. It's still
All right, Tyler.
insane.
No, but
I'm
guys,
going
hear
to
me out.
tell
Hear
you
me
about
out.
one more. I know I've taken up a lot of time. This is my last.
If they really want to prove that it's a 300
hearing.
mile an hour car, what better way to document it than have us watch it and videotape it? Maybe, So, I mean, if you
Yeah.
guys want to
Yeah,
prove,
I think we
biased.
should. I was gonna say we should drive it, but I actually don't think I would be up to driving that.
No, please don't let me.
That scares the crap out of me.
Yeah, it's way too
Okay,
scary.
I've got a car that you cannot, neither of you can debunk. Okay, are you ready for this one, Tyler?
Okay, yeah. I'm here.
Okay,
I'm here.
my other favorite manufacturer right now. I guess they're not technically a manufacturer, but they. Oh crap! Where did the link go? I just had it up. Here it is. Okay, they're not. I guess they're not technically a manufacturer, but they do modifications specifically of Dodge Vipers, also known as the dumbest production car ever made, but like in the coolest way possible. You know what I mean? Like so much power for such a small, like not that small, but it just feels dumb. I just remember Dad bringing one home for Tyler. I think that was your birthday, right? That he brought that one home.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, let's go for a cruise around the block." And we used to live in a little bit more country area, like we could get to some country roads pretty quick. And we went 55 miles an hour only because that's the speed limit. But we got there so quick.
We got there at breakneck speeds.
That car just felt, that car felt crazy. So that was stock. Okay. Just be prepared.
I'm excited, man.
Just be prepared to see the screenshot. You guys ready? I'm going to swipe my screen over and you're going to see it. This is their new highest horsepower they've achieved with their twin turbo Dodge Viper kits. Actually, let me just give it, let's hear some guesses. What do you guys think they got the highest horsepower to? Don't be outlandish, like spoil it for me, but what do you think they got the horsepower to on their Dodge Viper kit now?
I'm trying to think of what the Viper. I think the Viper stock is like 9. So if you throw twin turbos, I would have guessed probably realistically like around like 14, maybe.
Okay,
I'm
1400
going over 2.
Yeah.
Jake, over 2. Yep. Okay, you're both right, but it's
ho. Dude, what in the world?
3,317 horsepower. And look at this. Look at their caption. Do we have your attention yet?
Oh my!
Just like,
dude, the Calvo guys
I'm gonna
are
go follow
nuts.
them after this. That 100% gets it.
Baller.
That's
So look at this. You guys can go follow Calvo Motorsports on Instagram. They have all the videos and stuff.
Yeah.
They test these things. They're the craziest sounding, craziest looking things. Here's it on the dyno. We don't have audio for this, so you can go look it on Instagram. But look at it. Look at it lift off the dyno.
I can't wait.
That's bizarre. Dude.
Insane. And then go over, look at the dyno chart. Yep. 2,300 foot-pounds of torque. And then here's just it idling. This is just idling. Popping flames out. Just craziness. So they're definitely the leaders for like the craziest modification company, I would say, of any kind of cars to be pushing out that crazy stuff. I mean, we talked about these guys, probably around somewhere episode in the teens somewhere would be my guess.
Yeah,
I talked about them for the first time. Mm-hmm. And they were having a race starting at 100 miles an hour, and I thought that was insane.
That's
I'm like, starting? Like, these are like 100 to 250 mile an hour races, or 100 to 200. That's the time slots they're hitting. Like, how fast can I get from 1 to 200? Just insane. And now, of course, we got SSC going like, oh, cool. You race to 200. We start at 200. Like, I just can't even imagine like what it's going to be. Obviously, we're going to hit a limit of physics at some point.
Yeah.
But maybe not, because you guys, I don't know if you've heard this little like tidbit about history, but they didn't think we could, before we had cars and trains and stuff, like any kind of transportation, the scientists at the time thought it was physically impossible for us to be able to travel any faster than like 14 miles an hour, because they thought we would like tear apart into shreds. Like they didn't think our bodies could handle it. So like we think that there would be some kind of physical stop at some point. Obviously there's going to be like what SSC is working on with low coefficients of drag and like other variables like that, like making sure the power actually can get to the road and that the car can stay sticky and too much downforce doesn't make it too slow. But like, gosh, I can imagine that there's going to be 300 to 400 mile an hour races sometime soon. I mean, have we ever had a car hit 400 mile an hour, like a regular car? Obviously these aren't regular cars, but
no,
my golf
I don't think so. You're like, bro, one time there's this hill. It was backwind, right? So I was going downhill and I popped that sucker into sport mode. God, I saw 4 on the dash.
I just can't imagine what it would feel like being
crazy.
at
All right,
200
I'm off now.
and then feeling acceleration. That's insane.
Right?
Yeah, that scares me.
I've obviously never done this,
New
but if
fear
you're
unlocked.
ever on the highway and you're going 100 and then you punch it and accelerate from there, that feels stupid. But
Yeah.
to do that from 2,
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
That's just nuts.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Well, that's crazy. Thank you for sharing
thank
that,
you,
dude. That's
America.
nuts.
Thank you, world, for creating these crazy supercars and crazy, stupid, fast cars. Like it's like a what's that called? It's like a dichotomy, I guess, of like 50% of the energy is being spent towards making cars super efficient, electric and hybrids and all that really cool stuff, which some of those are really cool too. And then the other half is like, no, yeah, that's cool, but we're going to go like all the way to the other extreme, like 300 horsepower cars.
what we just talked
and
about
like
last
fastest
episode.
production cars.
Yeah.
Just wild.
Mhm.
So anyways, Tyler, you mentioned to us that you were looking through the interwebs and you saw something pretty cool. Tell us about that.
I found 2 cool things. I'm so excited about these. And my goal now, one day, is to own one in particular. So I'm going to start with like the base model, and then we're going to move on to the other one that they made, which is just absolutely nuts. So
Okay.
Renault coming in clutch.
Weird.
Oh no, I don't know how to share screen. Oh, I found it. Sorry. Just ignore what I just said. Okay. So this is the new Renault 5 Turbo 3. You guys see this?
It's loading. Whoa, what?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Really? That's new?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not
Oh,
100%
wow.
confirmed yet on when the release is going to
engine.
be, what the motor is, and what the price is. But this is kind of like a teaser for it.
That's cool.
It's
Wow.
maybe one of the prettiest cars ever, and it pays amazing homage to the original Renault
Felt
5.
that.
I think I got it.
I think it's homage.
Yeah. So, anyways, they kept the body
Homage.
almost identical to what the original was, except
Yeah.
it is purely forged carbon fiber. Every panel is just carbon
Whoa.
fiber.
Are these the Singer
Um,
guys? Oh no, they're talking
so
about
far,
like the Singer
are you guys
guys.
able to see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So it's got double
Ooh.
wishbone suspension in the front and the rear. Again, fully carbon fiber. They're making them only in an actual full-on just stick shift 6-speed, I believe. And they haven't confirmed the motor yet, but they're speculating that it's going to be some sort of 4-cylinder turbo around 400 horsepower.
Good. Thank you.
The
Now we're talking.
interior on
No
this thing is
hybrids.
so
Whoa.
pretty.
Oh, it's a spaceship.
It's
Come on,
basically
dude.
like, it's so pretty. So yeah, so the whole dash, as you can see, is actually wrapped in cloth. And then the dorks, you see the door cards, they have just the strap
Yeah, just a pull strap.
handles.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
And then just the gated shifter right in the middle.
Can we call door cards
So,
dorks now? I
crazy,
love that you
like-
said that by accident.
I did?
No,
Did you say torques?
He said,
I don't know.
he
I am
said-
forever now,
That's
though.
He
hilarious.
said dorks, but I'm 100%
These
calling it
dorks.
that now. Check out my dorks.
Yeah, no.
So this looks like a Mark 1 GTI-esque
Mhm.
sort of interior, right? With like
Yes.
the stitching and
Yep.
the Alcantara wrapped steering wheel, dash, all that stuff. Like that looks so nice.
yeah.
We're not going to get
Oh,
one
yeah.
here in America, right?
Not confirmed yet. Again, this is all just this so far is this guy. It actually says in the beginning, I believe they basically had this guy, and he said he wanted to basically do like a reimagined Porsche 911, but then I believe he worked for
Interesting.
Renault, and so they decided to then, instead of doing that, like bring back the Renault 5 to like the 21st century and what that would look like and how they want to design it.
Yeah, that's
And
cool.
This is what they came up with, and I
That's
have
so-
zero complaints.
Read
This thing is
that
stunning.
that first paragraph where he talks about that, realizing the genre was already well covered by the likes of Singer and Gunther Works. He teamed up with fellow U.S.-based Frenchmen
yeah.
to do something arguably much more interesting. I love it.
Yep. I just gotta say, I love that you're skipping over the names because for sure you have no idea how to say them. 'Cause I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
know how to
just
say them
going
either.
right back. I can't even say homage right.
Alain de Rossier.
Did I say it right that time?
Yeah,
I think so.
you did.
I think you got it. But
Yeah.
that should just be our running joke on the podcast. Every time we say homage or homage, we should say it different every time.
Yep. Got to keep them guessing.
Keep-
Yeah. So
never let 'em
anyways,
know your next
so-
move.
they did this. Then I was like scrolling and I was like, there's no shot they then swapped and they made this already.
No.
So this
I
is
support
the-
this EV
their
adventure.
drift version.
What?
Yes. So this one's fully electric.
Oh,
Dude.
okay.
Despite,
Still
it's kind
cool.
of funny though. They even mentioned it again in the beginning. I think they said Porsche's marketing department, they kind of call them out a little bit, saying that they called it a turbo, even though it's not gas at all. It's just electric.
That's
But you'll be
awesome.
totally fine with this thing being electric the more you learn about it. This thing's the
That's
coolest
pretty
thing.
funny.
So it is the same thing as the Renault R5 that we saw before, but then this is their totally tricked out drift machine. And it basically calls back everything to their, I believe, their original rally car, like all of the little details that they added on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's unreal. So they
Wow.
mention it in this. I actually wanted to look at it in the top picture. So if you guys see this bar right here, so this is actually, the entire thing is fully LED. It's not just these little parts.
Wow.
Nice.
And then it's got a mode that when it senses the car drifting, it flashes different colors. And all the lights kind of do this. And they
Dude,
do it,
what?
and they mention it lower, that they do this because they're
That's so
trying to call back to like 80s and 90s racing video games. And
Wow.
so that's
Dude.
why they designed the car like that.
I love this era of car
They
development.
also kept in. I know.
Yep.
That's what I'm telling you, man. The stuff they're coming out with is the coolest. It's so cool.
We're living in the
It's making
best
me-
time for cars. It was the best of
100%.
times. It was the worst of times, as they say. But it's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is what the back looks like.
Wow.
Now,
Holy
they mention
cow.
it in here. I can't remember where though, but the wing is wider than the entire car is.
It looks like it's huge.
Yeah,
Yep.
which I thought was just unreal. But yeah, so they mentioned here that they say plenty of references to retro 80s and 90s video games. It's a blue, pink, and yellow LED bar which flashes when the car drifts, spans the whole front of the car.
That's so cool.
That's gonna look sweet. Do they have any video of this thing?
This is the interior.
Ooh, I love that. Is that like what's the word thing?
Sequential?
Not hieroglyphic. No, I'm trying to think of the word for the logo, the emblem on there. Whatever. It's LED. It looks cool.
Yeah.
I lost
yeah.
the word.
Um,
I'm all about
Yeah,
this
so this
whole
is what they're
bringing
planning on
purple
the interior.
aluminum
Got it.
pieces back.
Holographic.
there we go.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
So they're doing the purple and the neon yellow. You can even see it on the dash. The dash is
Yup.
also cloth wrapped, and then you can kind of see the purple and the yellow.
And the checkered pattern.
Exactly. Yeah. It
Yeah,
just looks
dude.
phenomenal.
That's awesome.
So it's fully electric, rear wheel drive, estimated to be 375 brake horsepower and 516 foot-pounds of torque.
That's perfect.
Yup.
Yeah.
And
It's a
that center
drift car.
that center stick is just the rear e-brake. It's perfectly positioned because
Yep.
it's a one gear, right?
Weird,
Because it's
yeah.
electric. So you have full
Exactly.
torque all the time on demand. Perfect for drifting. And you've got your perfectly placed. I mean, the steering wheel looks amazing for you
Yeah.
know, one hand steering and stuff, and then you've got the nice e-brake right there. That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. No, it's literally incredible. And it's got over 50 degrees of turning diameter. I can't think of the right word, but
Steering angle.
No, I think that's right. Circumference.
is it? Steering angle.
Thank you.
Yep. And I also love they top this off in such a hilarious way. And this is built. They already have a physical version of this, and it's going to
Nice.
be at a car show this coming October. I believe in England, they say.
Okay.
But one of my favorite things about this, which I thought was hilarious. First off, it's got the windows with the actual like slots already in. Same thing with the pull string.
Yes.
You can see the fabric even better on the inside of this door, which I just think
Yeah.
looks so
Those
unbelievably
are
looks
good.
amazing.
super good looking dorks.
Also the houndstooth camo. Yeah. I like that. Yeah, that's sticking.
This is definitely a render, though, right? This is not a
this
photo
is
of the real
right
car.
here. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so there's two last things I want to comment on this before we move on to the next section. One is they recreated the turbofan wheels for it as the
Mhm.
same thing as the original one had.
all about it, dude.
And two, because I thought this was just like hysterical. So right here. Renault is keen to point out that the R5 Turbo 3E is joined by a teddy bear named Drifty, who the brand says is there to relax and comfort passengers overwhelmed by the show car's muscle.
What?
Dude, where's the teddy bear?
Yeah, why are there
I
no
don't know.
images
They don't
of
have
it?
it pictured. I was
They don't
so
picture
sad.
that? What the
Yeah,
heck? That's
I
so
haven't seen
random and
anything of
funny.
it, but I was like, that's awesome. Like I'm fully in support of this. Also, that it's got the full roll cage already in it. Like this thing is just from factory, totally tricked out as max and as possible as can be.
That's just insane.
That's sick.
So yeah, and if you see just right below it saying that it's going to be on display at this Arts and Elegance contest.
Paris Motor Show. Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it just was shown.
So
That was a few days ago. So we're probably gonna get some more images
Yeah.
of this soon.
oh yeah, we should try to find I'll see if I can find videos or clips of it like seen in person.
Yeah, maybe we'll throw some stuff on our Instagram if we can find some like actual in-person shots of this.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Sick.
Yeah, but I'm just like I'm
that'd be
just
cool.
so happy with this thing. Like it's just oh my gosh. And the final thing about this car, because this is just also so cool. I'm not going to try to find it in the actual paragraphs because it's going to take a little bit too long. It comes factory. You can see it right here. They built in camera mounts on the interior and exterior because they literally just said like you're going to want to record what you do in this car. So it comes with camera mounts. You can see it
Dude.
like on the hood here, off the side here. They put them
That's
into
sick.
places where people put them on these cars
That's dope.
so
They
that you can
have
just
that
build
quarter
your
so
Mickey
camera
Mouse
sick.
everywhere. That's so cool.
everywhere.
Holy cow.
Dude. I know. Yeah, I saw
Can
it. I was
we
like,
can we just take a moment and just send a thank you to Ken Block for I feel like this is so
Yeah.
Ken Block-esque. Like
okay.
everything he did with Gymkhana, and like that exploding and partnering with mega brands and just like all the marketing and everything. Do they say something about him?
Yeah,
The
they
dazzling camouflage livery covering the whole car is just how we'd imagine Ken Block would spec his Renault 5 if he had one.
Yep.
They're
Yeah, I
so,
mean,
they want
they,
him to
like-
drive their
I,
cars
I
so
feel like
bad.
he really sparked a lot of this innovation.
So bad, dude.
They're like, please.
I think
Well, I mean,
you're
this
right,
is
Zach,
this
though.
is the writer of Car Throttle who's mentioning all that stuff, right? But
I wonder how much came from a press release.
But,
no, you're
I
totally
get
right.
exactly what you're saying. Yeah. It's just
thank
yeah.
you. I think you're on
Yeah.
a little bit of a delay now, Jake.
Yeah, he's slightly.
Whenever you guys share your screen, I get thrown on a delay, I think. That's fine though.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
Here,
okay.
let me stop sharing, and then I actually want to address exactly what Zach brought up. Is you're exactly right on that. Like it's like I feel like Ken Block's cars have done so much for like the automobile world,
Totally.
especially when it comes to rally and drift. That like it's so cool to see because like if I would have seen this car just like in the wild, I would have thought it would have been one of like Ken Block's prototypes or something.
Yeah, totally.
So the
yeah,
fact
if we
that a
didn't, if
company
we didn't
now
have an intro like that, yeah.
exactly, yeah. So like now that they're just like oh yeah, this is just how we decided to make it. Like is the coolest thing ever.
Well, and he was like the first one to make like sponsoring and monetizing
Sorry,
doing
Big Gun.
dumb stuff with a car like kind of normalized. Like he's the first one to actually show doing stuff like that and enabling like dumb stuff, like shutting down big parts of like huge cities to go drift a car around. Like he's the first one to do things like that
Yeah.
and
Yeah, right.
regularize that. But
It was like, what? You can do that?
yeah, it's like I can't even imagine being like, hey, we need to shut down part of San Francisco because I want to drift the car around it. Like that's I don't know how you even get that permit, but
I
yeah, he
know.
did
It's
it.
also not like it was like Podunk, Montana or whatever. It was like,
Right.
oh, you have one of the busiest cities in the world. Can I borrow it for 4 days?
Right. It's nuts.
Well, that's how I
But-
felt
Yeah,
when
I'll love the roads. I'm also going to wreck them.
yeah.
Yes.
Didn't he do a drift in Dubai?
Where was that one? I don't
Am I
know
wrong
where
on
it
this?
was.
I swear.
Probably.
He did a couple international ones though that I'm like, I
There
don't know
was one of
how
them where he was
got
in
there.
Yeah, I'm like just the logistics of figuring out. I don't even know where you start with. Like, who do you even initiate that conversation with to get permission for that?
Right.
It's,
He's
Yeah.
got to have, I mean, I'm sure it's like a my people will talk to your people type of stuff. And I don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
if there's a cost to it or like, because it's not like cities necessarily need like advertising where it could be like, hey, look, I'm not going to pay
Some
for
do.
it, but like, well, like, yeah, well, for sure, but not the ones he's doing it in.
Yeah.
Like we'll pay whatever if there's like a fee. Are we in the dark about something? Is there just a fee that you can rent out roads? Because I would love to do some events. Like that would
That'd
be a lot of fun.
so
Because
cool.
sorry, this is going to be a little bit of a tangent and not, a little bit off track, but like there's so many of these car shows, takeovers is like a buzzword right now. in car community stuff that are just like, so many people are so reckless and like, I guess terrorizing is kind of a strong word, but like terrorizing local communities that are like, hey, look, we didn't ask for you guys to be like racing on our streets and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Like
that's
a
a good
car
way to
show
put
is
it.
one thing, but like doing all this crazy stuff and being reckless, like I get it. As much as the next guy, I like going fast. Like I like driving spirited and finding those cool back roads and stuff like that. But like, geez, dude, don't be driving stupid on the highways and like in towns, like, but there's people around, you know, like that's not cool. You're not cooler than anybody because you can go take your whatever, some stupid car and drive it all fast and endanger everybody. Like, that being said though, if there's a hookup and I can rent the streets out and they can clear it out and put whatever safety stuff up, and then we can all do that, and it's on waivers and people are there who want to be there. I know there's a thing called racetrack, so comments don't just to be like, oh, you're talking about a racetrack. But like, that's pretty freaking awesome if you could be like, hey, whatever town, like, can we rent like this block with like, there's a stretch here, we're gonna do a little bit of like challenge racing, whatever, and I don't know. That would be like, sick. Ken Block's got the hookup and we don't. That's all.
Well, this is like what Dad used to talk about too when they were younger. Like, times have just changed because people have been, there's too many stupid people ruining trust for things. But like, they used to have, like, the police would literally shut down pieces of road and let them drag race together. And it was just that understand, like, you're going to drag race, but you're also not going to push it so hard that you wreck and like, you know, hurt or kill yourself or the person in the other car or anything like that. It was just like, push your car down the road, have some fun. Everybody gets to group up. He would always talk about like them taking, like, McDonald's had all the Dodge stuff and Wendy's had all the Chevy stuff, and like, you'd go taunt people and race. It was cool, but like, they had that environment. It wasn't this dumb, reckless, show off, just try to go viral thing. And you also didn't have the dumbness of like people getting stuck, like the bystander effect of like everybody looking through their cell phone and nobody, like, if something happens, nobody going and actually helping out with whatever it is. And it's just sad. It's sad that everything's changed so much. And like, I wonder if that's like like, that would be a cool, whatever it is, some country road somewhere. Like, hey, we're going to let everybody like come out and do it. Maybe it's a private company that does it to say like, hey, we've got this, whatever, giant parking lot. Like, we'll set up more, you know, more of those like traffic cone events, like the SCCA events in a parking lot where it's not against anybody. You just get to drive your car, go get it out of your system, and then and do it in a safe place. Because
the problem is everybody's so sue happy nowadays. Like, a lot of these places don't do that because everybody's worried about liability, you know, like back in the, I don't want to peg Dad older than he is, but what years was that in the
1930s?
80s?
Yeah, it was
probably
80s.
80s, right?
Yeah.
80s. Like, people weren't, first of all, everybody wasn't on their cell phones the whole time. Not that that is causing this, but there's a little bit of showmanship, right? When you know your friends are recording, and it's going to be on the internet and all that stuff. Like, you want to show off a little bit.
Yeah.
But like, obviously their actions are probably like big problems that happen then too with like non-sanctioned racing, and like the police weren't blocking off roads and letting people do this stuff. But like, there was a time and a place for that, basically. Right. And everybody kind of respected that. And it seems like, I wasn't there obviously, but it seems like people were less liability focused and so scared, and everybody wasn't suing as much. Yeah. I just see that being a nightmare. Say a company wants to be cool and they're like, hey guys, we own like this, whatever, this whole stretch of road. Like, we'll shut it down. Everybody can come. Everybody would have to like sign up in advance, have their cars checked. They'd have to do waivers. They'd have to do all this stuff, which is fine. But that's just it. Like, then it's like, well, you might as well just go to the SCCA, or you might as well go to any other like parking lot race. Like, it'd be cool if there was just a like, you could call me up, be like, bro, this Friday night, this company said they're blocking up the road. You go there, like, run some people. You can do challenges, you know, call outs and that type of stuff. You just go there, run your car, go home. Like, everybody's cool. But
yeah, you wish there was like a safe venue for it, because it's like, you know, it's just nowadays it's like, it's ruining it. It's really sad because it's like right now, obviously kind of what we're talking about too is like, there was that event that happened at H2OI, and like, it's just sad because like, you have the whole car community, like, by and large, most of them are all responsible people who don't want to do stupid stuff like that. We just want to go to a show and see whatever. I want to see another 5-cylinder Audi engine there, and I want to talk to the guy who owns it. And there's so many people saying like, this is why I'll never do takeovers. This is why I'll never do shows like this. This is why I'm never going to be a part of that. And it kind of makes me sad because I'm like, no, like, you guys should be the ones going to them, because you guys should be the one like dictating that this kind of stuff doesn't happen. Like the people who all have the good attitude about I don't want the shows to turn into this are all the people who should be organizing and running shows so that stuff like this doesn't happen. Because it's when you get the stupid, like your guys are right. Like when you get the people who think like, oh, I'm going to put this on TikTok, and then they're like, oh, sick. Like the one accident happened because some dude launched his car into an intersection because people were filming and said launch your car, and he ignored the red light and went for it and hit somebody. Like it's just stupid stuff, like stupid decisions for people just chasing clout or whatever. When you know, it's you lose the respect of having these machines. I think another big part is how much more powerful cars are nowadays than they were like 20, 30 years ago, where you've got a lot more horsepower that you're dealing with. And I mean, these speeds and everything, like there's just a lot more at people's fingertips, a lot more that's accessible on some good credit that, you know, it's just, it's sad. It's sad that it turns into that, but it's stuff that, you know, I hope to be part of more car meets that don't make the news in that way, kind of a thing. But yeah, it's sad that it's going that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. You made a really good point about, Jake, what you said about, the people who are against that type of stuff, right? Like us who are like, hey, there's a time and a place to drive that way. Like you could go to a track, you can go do these different things. Like in a giant crowd, like we've all seen millions of videos of people doing the donuts in the parking lots, and then some guy gets like launched into the crowd, right? Yeah. May have even had make it or break it with that a few times. And like, there's a time and a place for that. Like you can go to a drift pad, you can go to that type of stuff. But like those people, like the people who are in the same mindset as us, like if you guys are thinking that way, you see what's happened at some of these takeovers and meets and stuff. And it's like, you're as pissed off as we are about it. Like that is more of a reason to actually go to those things. Like if we flood those events with good people with good intentions who are there to talk about their cars and show their cars and meet other cool people who are also there with the right intentions who don't like that other stuff, like there isn't going to be room for the people who want to do stuff bad. You know what I mean?
Right. Or when the bad starts, there's more people there to sit and call it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So sorry to take us down that tangent, but
no,
I know we talked about it a lot beforehand. Yeah, we talked about it a lot, guys. You know, you guys watch it. We talked about this a lot, of course, this week and beforehand, and debated whether or not to talk about the H2OI stuff, but kind of came up, I guess, organically, and that's how we feel. So
cool. Well, before we end this episode, I have classes in session, boys. I got one more thing I wanted to talk about that I've been waiting to talk about for so long, and I debated while we were talking about that stuff right now. I was like, man, we're already at 50 minutes. Maybe I should save it. But I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I think people listening, if you guys want to listen to I got another solid maybe 10 minutes of sharing some craziness with you guys of something that I'm just curious about. And I had no clue how it works. And now that I found out how it works,
let's go.
I'm more confused. But yeah, so I'm going to read you the headline. We're going back to Koenigsegg. We felt like Zach did them dirty a little bit with this whole SSC thing and showing off how slow they are. So we're going to show another cool piece of them. So I'm going to read the headline.
Bring them back.
And then I'm going to share it because I don't even know what to think anymore. This is nuts. So cool. Let's see. All right, here's the tab. So here's how Koenigsegg's new manual automatic CC850 gearbox works. So I don't know if you guys have heard about this. It's a transmission. It literally, on the gated shifter, there are 6 spots for the 6-speed. There's a reverse, and then there's a drive mode. So it can be either a like regular automatic gearbox or an actual clutched 6-speed transmission. Okay, which that doesn't make sense to have both. So the next thing,
okay, educate me. How does this work?
The subtitle of this is an open gated manual and a 9-speed auto. Prepare to have thine tiny minds blown. So this article is written awesome. It's on Top Gear.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ty.
Sorry, it's a 6-speed manual and a 9-speed automatic.
Yeah, dude. All right. So, can you guys see my screen?
It's loading up here.
Okay.
Loading.
Boom. Whoa.
Okay.
Oh, what?
That's hot.
Love the wheels. So this is the car. The picture of the car had nothing to do with it, but I just wanted to show you. So the thing looks great. We talked about a bad interior last week, but look at this thing.
Could be setting me up to see an amazing interior or an awful interior.
It's the most beautiful interior I've ever seen in my life, and I think it's loading so slow for you guys, and I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's loading slow. I'm
It's
sorry.
fine,
Our reactions are behind. Go back to the full view of just the interior.
I want to look at the gauges first because they're the coolest gauges I've ever seen in a
Yeah, these
car.
gauges are sweet.
Yeah,
It's very
I like this a
aeronautic.
lot.
Yeah, right? So yeah, look at
Oh my gosh, wait. It just clicked that was 3 gauges and 1 in the middle.
Yeah, dude.
Did you guys see that? It looks like it's like a watch. It's so freaking cool.
Yeah, if I go back to that one here. Yeah. The middle one, the outside is the tack, the inside is the speedometer, then the inside is the boost gauge.
Whoa. That's very like
that's gonna be trippy to look at.
Watch. Yeah. That's
So then
interesting.
the
How
other-
they kind of adopt
Oops.
a
Let me go back.
watch type of movement, or
Yeah.
not a movement necessarily, but like the way that the hands work and stuff like that. That's really cool.
Yeah. So then this is the piece that we're going to focus on. So this crazy, weird, freaking 6-speed, but also drive like regular automatic transmission. So how this thing works, I love how this article is written. So celebrating his 50th birthday, Christian von Koenigsegg dispensed with the traditional champagne and midlife crisis 911, and instead he revealed a totally new form of gearbox technology. Okay? So how this thing works, I'm going to explain it in like dumb terms, and then we'll dive in and talk about it a little bit. But basically, like wrap your minds around this.
Please.
I'm going to stop sharing for a sec too, because I'm just going to paste the thing in, but I want you guys to be able to react at normal speed. Okay, so this thing, so it's a 6-speed, but it can shift into drive. So how they do it is it actually has 9 gears. And when you shift into drive, they're all hydraulically actuated, and it has a clutch pedal. When it's in drive, it's just doing it itself. But it's a 6-speed that also has 3 different drive modes that change the gear ratios for the 6-speed.
Whoa. Oh, so it's like a bike where you got 1, 2, 3, and then you got 1 through 7 or whatever.
Yes.
On the left and right. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep,
You got the big gear. All right, I've really dumbed it down, huh? But you guys remember riding bikes, right?
That's a great way to explain it.
Where your pedals were, you had the 3 gears where you could go with the big gear. You know, you have the most torque, easier to get up and going, and then you can move that down to another couple smaller gears, and then in the back you can switch between your speeds of the bigger to smaller gears for more or less speed and torque and stuff like that.
That's a great way to explain it. That's exactly what it is. So it can do it automatically. You can put it in drive, and it's just going to shift through. But then they have it. So they explain it here. So if you select track mode, the first gear is actually 3rd gear. You're not going to get stuck in a traffic jam. So it's a tall gear like in a race car. And then the remaining 2 to 6 are very tightly spaced for whip crack acceleration. So they in first gear in normal mode starts off in the 2nd of the 9 gears, because the first is super short on the 9 speed, while 2nd gear is actually the 4th of the 9, which perfectly matches the 2nd gear in a regular 6 speed. So it gets super confusing to go through. But that's how this thing works. Go ahead, Tyler.
That is so nuts. What? I'm sorry. This is Koenigsegg,
super,
right?
Yeah, super quick. Jake, this is me IRL right now, okay? I don't know what's happening.
To get that meme.
Yeah.
I heard you clicking away. I'm like, are you pulling up a picture of the gearbox or something?
Yeah, no, just this.
There it is. That's so funny.
But yeah, I cannot. I'm hearing everything you're saying, but it's like, it's not even like going in one ear or going out the other. It's just missing my head. I can't, I'm trying to fathom this.
Zach's example is pretty good, actually. Like it literally is like a bike where it has 3 like front gears. So consider it like your pedal gears, right? And then it has 6 in the back. And so it's using hydraulics to like your hydraulics that you can actuate using the pedal, but also it can do it via computer. But it's changed. So like if you put it into sport mode, it's going to change the front gear on you. So you're starting from a different point than you actually would. So it has 9 to choose from, but it's only ever actually giving you access to 6. So when you're shifting through, there's no feedback on that. Like you're not shifting into a first gear. You're pushing a lever somewhere and it's telling in real time the computer to go to actually gear 4 when you thought you were going to 2 because you're in sport mode. Like it's changing all of this on the fly, but fast enough, and your engagement on the clutch pedal is still engaging the clutch in the same. Like it's freaking. Dude, I don't know. I don't know the computer thing you have to write for this. I don't know at all. And then in drive, it's just a 9-speed automatic, just like regular cars are nowadays. It's freaking nuts.
I was just thinking the exact same thing, dude. I cannot imagine the math and the programming behind getting that to work.
Right?
Like that alone.
It's just crazy.
It's just-
So anyway, so that was the piece I wanted to share.
Yeah, that's insane.
Okay, this is totally reminding me of man, I'm trying to remember exactly what it is. I wish I had the exact specs on it, but there's a C5 Corvette that had this weird manual. Does this ring any bells? Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
No, not yet.
You're sounding similar to the E46 M3 had a weird automatic manual in it.
Well, that wasn't a weird automatic manual. That was just that was the SMG transmission, right? So it's basically a dual clutch automatic, similar to what's in my car, like a DSG. But Corvette, the Chevy and the Corvette I think it was in the C5. Because I know I've sent a few to Dad, and he's like, "Oh, that's that weird one." And I'm pretty sure what it was is they had something similar to this, obviously very less tech and very dumbed down, is my guess. But it was like a 4-speed manual, but then it had like pre-gears or something that.
Yeah.
It was something like this, where it was really, really weird, and it was totally unreliable.
Sounds right.
Well, I mean, this
is what I've heard.
When you
Dad
think
would probably
about
know
it,
better. Maybe on the next episode, we got to bring him in.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, this is kind of similar to like, I mean, drag racing transmissions are they're like 3-4 speeds, and you're just knocking through on the transmission. You're knocking it through. I think the big difference is this kind of functions more like it's almost like a DSG transmission where it's got the banks of gears, but it actually it's like a regular, I mean, it's like a manual or a sequential gearbox, but it's all hydraulic actuated. And it's like, I think the more interesting part is the interface they're giving you, because it's saying too that there's a lot of feedback. Like you get the sensation of pushing against synchros, holding you back into gear. And they're using like some sort of haptic feedback, I guess. And same with the clutch pedal to give you the feel of all of it so that you can do that. You can slide it over into drive. You could drive for a little bit. And while you're driving, you can slam it back out of that and into the manual mode. Like it's crazy. They took the whole paddle shifter thing to a whole new level.
Yeah,
they're
really.
Like,
okay, I found it.
That's
you ready?
Cute.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So the Chevy, it was in the C4. That's why I couldn't find it right away.
Oh, okay.
It's if you guys want to look this up, I don't have all the specs on it right away, but people watch if you guys want to look up a weird transmission. It's called the Doug Nash 4+3. So essentially what it was is a 4-speed manual transmission with a overdrive bolted on the butt of it. So it would automatically change 2 overdrive gears depending on what kind of throttle response that you're giving. So super interesting. I've heard it's had at least every time I've sent it to Dad, he's been like, "No, that's terrible." So apparently it's had issues. But this article said it's a manual transmission, mechanical wizardry. There it is. Mechanical wizardry.
We got there.
Interesting to look up if you guys want to go look up
this article from the drive that I was just reading. It says, needless to say, this hack job of a transmission was anything but a tight and sporty manual. So there's basically 2 schools of thought.
That's funny.
But anyway, so I wanted to share. I've seen this talked about. I don't know if this is similar as what's in the Pagani. I don't know. This is probably, I mean, I wouldn't imagine they're the only ones doing this. It sounds like they're the first to do something like this, but I would imagine everybody else is playing with it. But I thought this was nuts because I've seen this and I've heard talk of this weird like hybrid auto manual, and you kind of wonder if it's just going to be a fancy Tiptronic or what. But I mean, it seems like to the best of their ability, these guys are actually going for it. And it says, to end the article, it says Christian's keeping one for himself of the 50 first pre-production cars that they made. And it says, after all, it is his birthday.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
not a bad birthday gift.
But anyway, so there you go, folks. Now you understand how this whole manual automatic transmission phenomena works. And I'm curious. I'm curious what the feedback is actually like, if it feels convincing or if it feels, augmented or what. But I imagine once you get north of 200 miles an hour,
it's an interesting compromise, that's for sure.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't think I want to be racking gears. I mean, it's good that at least we're not getting to that point of Need for Speed where they've got like an 18-speed transmission in there on the racing, just continually just.
I mean, we're up to 9, so we're getting
just
there.
Keeps on going. Yeah,
True,
right.
Yeah, we're close.
Yeah, 10 more years, we'll be there.
Yeah, pretty soon you'll go through the 6, and then it'll go to bank 2, and you'll go back to 1, and then go through the 6 again.
Yeah, right. It'll just come right back when you start over.
Yeah. Have you guys ever seen looking at Fast and Furious through a realistic lens, and then they count how many times Vin shifts in like a train chase, and it's like 36 times or something.
Yeah.
It's some like outlandish number.
It's
I just
so
love that
awesome.
those movies can get away with it. They're
Oh,
like,
yeah, right?
oh yeah, like we'll just shift like infinite amount of times because it looks cool. And
Right.
then everyone's like, all right, cool. Like, here's my money.
Well, what probably happened is they did a bunch of different shots, right? And it was there was obviously some real car guys making those movies, because you look at like them swapping the RB26 into the old Mustang in Tokyo Drift,
Which was
look at,
amazing.
like some of the modifications that they talk about and they do. Obviously, some of them are silly, like, oh, your manifolds are gonna blow, but like some of the stuff they talk about is silly, but there's a lot of like real car stuff in there too. But then all of those people came up with it, designed it, whatever, got the cars, made the scripts, everything went together, everything was shot, and then it went to editors, right, who put it all together. And they're like, well, we need to fill 4 minutes here with this thing, so they keep going back and forth between all these different shots they made, and then it's gone, it's done, it's gone, it's hit movie and everything. And then years later, all these car people are like, wait a minute, 36 gears, and they're like, oh shoot,
Almost got away with it.
Should have fixed it in post, but
Yeah,
we
they
just
put all
made it
this,
have
they
more
put all this
gears.
passion and effort into it, and all people remember is 36 gears and no front brakes on the Jetta.
Right. Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, guys, that's what I got for you this week. So now you know. Now you know how this weird auto manual, the manual-matic transmission. Now you know how it works.
I just want to say,
That's
I got
sick.
a comment. This was a phenomenal week for cars.
It really was.
All 3 topics we tapped were like awesome.
Yeah,
I'm
this
so
is
excited
solid.
about all of this.
Cool. But yeah, let us know if you guys
Lot of
see
cool
something
stuff
else that
coming.
we missed. Send it in. You can get it to us on Instagram. Instagram's really the inbox we check the most. But if you tag us on TikTok, if you see something funny,
it's the
next
easiest.
week we've got the next 2 episodes are going to be in person. We're very excited to be together. So if you've got any make it or break it
Absolutely.
clips, send them in because we need them.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to go
We'll
through
be
some of
there
those
this
again. It's
week.
going to be great.
Live and in person.
I'm
Yes,
excited
sir.
too. I've never been a part of the Make It or Break It's. This will be my initiation. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There we
So
go.
we're
First
going to
one.
have to
It's gonna be a
make
good time.
I have to get some special for you.
So send
yeah,
some
we
special
can make
clips
those
in. If you
happen.
guys see anything, send them in, and then I'll react to them for the first time.
Good stuff. All right. Well, have a great
All
week,
right,
everybody.
Let's probably wrap it.
Yes, we
Yeah.
should. Oh, someone else wrap it. I rapped last week.
No one's gonna say anything.
I got time open to like wrap it. Thank you all for watching. Thank you so much for joining. Hope you guys enjoyed listening as much as we enjoyed talking. Like Jake said, engage with us. Hop on our socials. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We're all over the place. Listening to the episodes, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere you listen to podcasts. Easiest way to find us, though, is if you just go to thirdpedalpodcast.com. You can find sick merch like this. You can look just like us in our awesome gear. You can rep it. We've got a indestructible garage shirt. Not actually, this is not a warranty. Where's the fine text? But super sick garage shirt and garage sweater. If you guys are working on some projects this fall or winter, definitely pick those up. Send us pictures of you working on your stuff. And this is getting really long, so I'm going to say thank you all for watching and peace. We'll see you out there. I lost my last line. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time. There it is.
Everyone.
See you
All right,
next time.
see everyone.